I just had the most creepy, crazy thought. You know how we were promised disclosure and everything said there was going to be disclosure, and it kind of started, and then they released like a couple of things, and then it petered to a stop? What if all of the MILABs being allowed to come forward and talk about their experiences is considered disclosure?
Well,
Fishbowl update, July 20th.
they showed me a checkered picnic table cloth that was red and white checkered, and we asked where we were at, and
They showed you the cloth, and then you said
Yes.
something about the trophies.
the trophies that kind of looked like pawns.
Mm-hmm. Because we asked where in the game,
Yeah.
because they were setting up the playing field or something like that.
Right. And then we asked where we sat, and I was off to the side in the second row like a bishop, and you were in this back row.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember.
I had asked where the game was, like, because they were setting up the playing field, and I asked how far along it was.
And they said they were still getting players.
Yeah, so that's the situation.
Dun, dun, dun.
I want to tell you about something I happened across by accident the other day, actually thanks to one of our 5 subscribers. It is a very profound description of soul harvesting, spirit harvesting.
The content of this is something that I've kept to myself for quite a long time. And what's prompted me to make this recording this time is because I watched for the first time an interview with James Casbolt. And it was by Miles Johnston. And basically, I heard some of the things that he was saying and realised that some of it was what I'd known, and also that I know that there are other aspects to this.
And she described some of the mechanics of what happens when the spirit is first released and how quickly you have to capture it. It's not a 3-day affair, as we're always given to understand. And I thought I would draw attention to this. I just sat entranced by her talking about this stuff, and I want to give a shout out and commend her for having the bravery to do it. And I highly recommend that for those of you that are interested in the process of soul harvesting, considering that although Casbolt has seen it on a smaller scale, it is indeed, there's a chance that it's going to get used on a very large scale, and there are actually records of soul harvesting, like the soul net that captures souls before they escape. And, this is something that you may want to take a moment and listen to.
Yes, because probably 2004.
Okay.
Something around there. It was before I left. Beep. It was before I left Beep, and after I had met you.
Okay.
So that would put it around 2004-ish. Anyways, I don't remember what the ships look like. I do remember that there was 2 of them. There was one of the bigger ships, and then there was a little ship that was following behind them that they were towing along. And you could tell that there was battle damage. They had been in a fight, and you could see scorch marks. When we went to Roller Coaster and we saw the 2 ships, the little one was being scavenged
Okay.
and salvaged. The bigger ship.
okay. Were there any? Do you remember any like markings on the bigger ship?
I don't.
Any identifiers?
There wasn't. I couldn't see any identifiers. All I saw were scorch marks from getting hit by phasers or whatnot. Um,
Phasers, huh?
or lasers, phasers, whatever they use, stun guns. I don't know what they use.
Just double checking. No, you can't have my teaspoon. You can say that.
It was, I don't know. It was, you could tell that they were fairly fresh, too.
They were fresh.
They were fresh
They were
marks.
farm fresh.
They were farm fresh. They were bordering the, they were near Jupiter. I remember that much. They were around one of the big gassy planets.
Was there anybody else in the area?
Nope.
Just them two?
It was just those two.
Of course, you didn't stop to think who was driving it, of course.
No, we didn't check out who was driving it. It was kind of just floating along and tugging along.
Which way were they headed? Into Galaxy or out?
They're headed towards us.
Okay. I get any other questions.
Can't think of any other information.
I look like shit. It is 0800, and I have been up since yesterday sometime, and I look like shit. This isn't from lack of trying. I went to bed at 11, and I've got this thing where I toss and turn all night, and I don't sleep no more. Today is August the 9th, so 2014 for those of you who don't know how to read timestamps on uploads. And because I'm just as bad, don't feel bad. But so I'm in the bed and I'm tossing and turning, and I'm going, wow, I'd really like to fall asleep now. You know, I do that every night these days. I just don't sleep at night no more. And I'm laying there, and I've got the bathroom light on because I'm afraid of what's in the dark. And I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor because my bed is not here yet. It's still with my husband, who's still at the fort down south. And I've got a fan, you know, all cozy. And next thing I know, everything goes black, and it's like the power went out. The fan is gone, and I'm like, oh, the power's out. And then the rumbling begins. It's like, and it was like happening. There's this window right by my bed, and it's still got the handprints, despite what somebody said. From where, when I was here before, I'll sleepwalk and look out the window. And so it was like this rumbling was striking, and I thought at first, because I'm a Floridian, and so I'm not going to automatically go, oh my God, tornado, and I probably should have, but Floridian habits when you're laying there trying to sleep die hard. Wow, lightning. Is that striking so close to the house? That's lightning. Okay, that explains why the power's out. We must be getting a sudden storm. And then it was, that's an awful long bolt of lightning. And then it was, does that bolt of lightning ever end? It just kept going on, and you could like feel the house slightly shake. And I'm just laying there. So I'm being inundated with this rumbling and movement, but lack of light, because it was like the power was out. And in my head was this feedback, almost like computer feedback, you know, and it was just going on and on and on. And I don't know how many minutes it went on. And then it just suddenly stopped. And you know how like your power's out. And then before the power gets on, all is quiet, and then there's like a click, and the power turns on. Oh no, it was just suddenly everything was back to normal, just boom, all of a sudden. And I laying assessing this event, kind of scared to get out of bed, because again, I'm afraid of what's in the dark. And I'm going, wow. That was, I actually wondered two things. One, because me and Shoshu here, off camera there, yeah, the invisible friend. Me and the invisible friend went and did a roller coaster yesterday. So I was like wondering that, and then when I
reassess, and when I was assessing, you know, and realizing that what had been playing in my head the whole time, and it pretty much, I mean, it didn't immobilize me because I was actually laying there going, should I get up and run? No, I am not getting out of bed. I'm just going to lay here and weather this out. Because it's a storm. Well, it was a storm. What do you do when there's a freaking rainstorm? And I thought rainstorm. Although, when I reassessed what was going on with the rumbling, I really should have thought tornado. I really should have thought tornado.
But if it was a tornado also, then the weather alarm would have gone off. But
Yeah,
there's
except you've got the
batteries
weather
in-
alarm down where I can't hear it, so what good would it have done me? And as you'll recall, when the big tornado hit, it didn't have time to go off. The tornado hit first.
Yeah.
So I did think of those things after I woke up, but, you know, well, after I gave up and got out of bed anyway. So then I thought, well, I wasn't immobilized by this feedback. It was just all over. I was able to think and decide what I was going to do. And it was kind of weird because it was long bolt of lightning. Where is it striking? Thank God I trusted myself, and I did not know what I trusted myself over. But in the end, I was just repeating myself to myself. Thank God I trusted myself. Thank God I trusted myself. And I actually had a stray thought that's gonna piss people off, but I'm very known for my unpopular opinions. And it was, I wondered, because I have a new implant right here. It's been there since I woke up with vertigo. How long was it? 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Serious vertigo. I had to go to the hospital and be on physical therapy. That was fun. And then I realized I had a new implant. I mean, normally it's here and there's nothing there no more. It was sore as if there had been an incision, but it's here. It's tiny. It's right on the, you know, there. It hurt for a while. It's no longer sore. I can push it now. It feels funky. But I actually wondered, you know, are these implants there to stop alien abductions? And I know that that's an unpopular thought. Oh no, the status quo is bad, and so I'm not saying that it's a good thing either. It's just these were my reactions to this event that I cannot explain. Went around the house. There are no signs that the power went out. The clocks are all fine. Walked around the neighborhood. No signs. No physical signs. Nothing. I do not know what happened. Choshu suggested something happened underground, which we are in an area that had a lot of mining, so my thought was maybe we had a cave-in. So we'll be checking the news in a minute. Roll with it. Roll with it. Roll with it.